Welcome into First Pitch right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel for Wednesday, May 3rd. I am Drew Martin, joined by Brian Leonard, Jimmy Adams, and Rob Vino of WagerTalk.com. We got a full slate for the Wednesday card. We got big game breakdown. We got best bets. Hey, and we're answering any questions. Fire away here in the live chat. Or if you're watching on replay, feel free to reply below. Big game breakdown. Batting in the leadoff spot, if that's all right, Jimmy Adams. I'm seeing Tampa Bay Rays and Pittsburgh Pirates. What, coming into this series, the best in the NL and the best in the AL. So I guess we can make the argument here, the two best teams in baseball, Jimmy. What are you thinking, Rays and Pirates today?
Yeah, it's so great to see the Bucks have this kind of success, Drew. And I'm very intrigued with them here at a huge dog price. The Pirates continue to play good baseball. Winners of 4 of 5 entering this series yesterday, now 4 of 6. But they've got a recent series win over the Dodgers, as you've mentioned, now tied atop the NL standings. And the Rays may have the best offense in baseball, but Pittsburgh really isn't far behind. Currently ranked 6th in MLB and OPS at 786. And Mitch Keller's been a big reason for that success. He's gone at least 6 innings without allowing more than 3 earned. He only did that once over the span, and in each of his past 5 starts, and against some pretty good lineups as well. Last time out, 6 innings pitched, 2 runs, 10 strikeouts, and just 1 walk against the Dodgers. That's nothing to scoff about at all. Keller's hard hit percentage is extremely low. He has a good spin rate on his fastball, keeping hitters off balance with his cutter, 4-seam, sinker mix. And look, I don't have that much bad to say about Shane McClanahan. We know how good this Rays team is. Keller's going to have to keep him inside the park. Hopefully he can do that. I will say McClanahan is due for a little bit of regression with his 3.30 FIP, but he's a strong pitcher. The Rays are a very good team, but this price, like I said, is very enticing. I saw plus 190s an hour or 2 ago, so I'll probably have some bucks in my pocket come first pitch, Drew.
Little underdog in that big series between the Bucks and the Rays here. And Jimmy, going to want to pay attention to what he's doing. Over 70% the last 27 MLB plays, and he's got a 5% up at WagerTalk.com. We also got Brian Leonard batting in the 2-hole here. He's got a 4% up in the NHL playoffs. So Brian, throw it over to you. Big game breakdown here, heading to the AL Central. I'm seeing the Twins and the White Sox. Competitively priced game here, total of 8. What are you looking to do on the south side, Brian?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of I play a lot of fantasy baseball, so I know the individual players in baseball better than any other sport. And I'm a big fan of Eno Saris over at The Athletic. If you don't subscribe to The Athletic, I mean, it's like $60 a year. Sometimes I have a special where it's like $12 or something. A lot of great writers over there. If you're looking to really dig deep into handicap, fully recommend an Athletic scholarship or a subscription. But Saris has put out something called Stuff Plus, and that's his thought process on the actual stuff that these pitchers have. And even though McClanahan and Ohtani are pitching today, they've got great Stuff Plus numbers. Louis Varland for Minnesota is at 123, which is actually 2 better than Ohtani and about 10 better than McClanahan. So this is a guy who's got everything you want. And with Maeda getting hurt once again the other day, he's got a really chance to shine here in this Minnesota pitching staff that has been very good. Joe Ryan, another terrific outing yesterday. Dylan Cease is the ace of the White Sox. And if you take a look at the weather, and I know living here in Vegas, the temperature is about 20 degrees cooler now than it was just a week ago. From what I could see from the weather patterns, it's going to be a lot of rain, a lot of cold temperatures around the nation today. In fact, by the time this game goes off, we're looking at like a 48, and it's probably going to get down to 45 in Chicago. So a lot of people will be looking for the White Sox, who their bats have picked up lately, but they've picked up better with a little bit warmer temperatures. I like the under here. I think we got a Varland that nobody knows about. If he comes out and pitches like he does now and pitches later in the week or whatever, I think that we're going to see a lot of people buying into that. So, you take a look, he's got obviously limited sample size, but he's got a 28.0 strikeout to walk ratio. I mean, this guy's been really good so far. Take a look at the discipline numbers. Very good in that regard. You take a look at the batted ball quality. Both of these guys hold the opponents from hitting the ball too hard. That really is something you got to take a look at. And I just think this is a good spot here for a low-scoring game. The weather is there. The bats really struggled yesterday in this series, so I look for more of that. I really like both these starting pitchers here, and I played that game under for my clients.
All right, bringing the weather in. Brian Leonard on a 15-9 MLB run. Check out his plays, WagerTalk.com. Speaking of good handicappers here, the hottest the last 3 days at WagerTalk. That's Robbie Vino. And Robbie, I'm seeing the Phillies you got circled here. What are you looking to do? Big game breakdown. This is an early start, by the way, guys. Do note 4:10 Eastern first pitch. So for you guys watching live, might have a good bet here. What do you got, Rob?
And we're going to try and squeeze this one in before first pitch here, Drew. No pun intended, first pitch. Aaron Nola, Gavin Stone, going to make his first start with the LA Dodgers here. And it looks, on all accounts, to be a pretty strong starting pitching advantage here. So I'm going to shorten this one up and play first five. Use Nola over Stone. Give you a couple of reasons why here. First of all, I don't want to mess with the bullpens late in the game here. Alvarado and Dominguez probably good to go for Philly, and they're their two best arms late in the game. So if Aaron Nola gets them there, they should close the deal. But again, the rest of the arms have been worked a little bit in this series after giving up 26 runs in 2 games. You could assume that. Dodgers are in a little better shape where bullpen is concerned. Let's look at Aaron Nola, who used to be, this guy just changes. He's kind of a chameleon year to year. Last year, it was bet against road Nola. This year, play road Nola. Aaron Nola on the road. He's been pretty good so far. 4 starts on the road so far this season. This will be his 5th. 3 of the 4 have been of the quality variety. 1 against Houston, 1 against the Yankees, 1 against Cincinnati. He did have a bumpy start opening day against Texas in Texas. But since then, his 3 road starts have been really good. In those starts, 20 innings pitched. 2.7 ERA, 0.95 whip, 15 Ks, 4 walks allowed. Only allowed 1 home run, facing 77 batters on the road in those 3 starts. So the Dodgers are a power-laden team. They want to go long. Aaron Nola's been able to keep it in the yard on the road. A couple other quick notes on Aaron Nola. He has been really good with his walk percentage, guys. Last 952 batters he's faced, I picked this stat up online earlier this morning. Last 952 batters he's faced, he's only walked 4% of those. So if you can keep the Dodgers in the yard and you can keep them from getting free bases, free passes, probably in pretty good shape here. He's good against right-handed hitters. Just a 108 batting average against him by righties the last couple of weeks. Dodgers tried to stack their lineup. The lineup is out. They have 5 lefties in there today, 4 righties. But I do think Aaron Nola will throw well. Where Gavin Stone is concerned, I think the jury's out on this guy. There's some who fully believe he's ready to make this start, and there's some who think that his minor league numbers still leave some concerns for this guy. He's rated by most as a middle rotation guy. His best pitch, which is kind of rare for a young pitcher, but he comes up with a changeup that everybody grades excessively high, all the scouts. So he's going to look to throw that changeup. Most pitchers work off of a fastball 2 changeup. We'll see if he tries to get ahead of guys with a changeup here. But this isn't the lineup you want to face your first time in the major leagues. Bryce Harper now back, had that 1 start last night. We'll see if he's helpful here today in this one. The Philly offense has picked it up as of late. 107 weighted runs created plus over the last 16 games. That's 9th in baseball. They've been significantly better hitting the ball against right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching, which doesn't favor Stone here either. Guy that's going to run up there with a 94 to 96 mile an hour fastball. Very hittable by Philly guys. They prefer fastballs. And then, as I mentioned, the changeup. I think the one concern I would have here is that, number one, Philly hasn't seen him before. And rule of thumb, I think for the 30 years that I've been handicapping baseball is first-time lefties are a little more difficult than first-time righties, but that doesn't mean Stone can't be successful here. He could use Philadelphia. It's an aggressive hitting team, right? They got a lot of guys who love to free swing. He could use that changeup to his advantage here if he can get ahead. I just don't know that he's a good enough fastball pitcher right now to get ahead. I'd like to see what he can do against a team that's pretty well rounded with speed and power. I don't know that this is a great spot for him. I don't know. I couldn't find if the Dodgers had a pitch count on this kid today, so we'll see. But for first 5 innings, I think Nola's the way to go here. Very strong on the road. I know I'm getting in front of the Dodger 5-game winning streak here. Back-to-back 13-run performances, like I said. But I think Aaron Nola gets the job done here today. There's no getaway day lineups for either side here. Everybody really is playing. So I'm going to try Philly here. The price was right for me. First 5, -110 with Aaron Nola.
Like it, Robbie. And guys, feel free to reply with any questions here in the live chat box before we get to best bets. I got one for you, Robbie. I mean, this kid Stone making the jump from AAA. I'm looking at his numbers here. 5th-round draft pick by the Dodgers. He stayed with them. That's actually one thing I like to look at. If he stayed with the same team and kind of made a quick get up to the show, to the major leagues, I have that marked as like a good thing. They're hanging on to him. They know it, rather than a guy that kind of gets traded around. It takes a while to get to MLB. Then I'll kind of look to fade those guys a little bit more. Do you have any look just overall? I believe this is his MLB debut on betting that or kind of looking to fade these guys.
Yeah, I don't know that I take a particular stance, Drew. There's plenty of guys that have come up so highly touted. You wait for their first performance, and then you go ahead and bet them because you know their stuff ahead of time. Gavin Stone is kind of a mixed bag of a couple of years in the minors with real good control, a couple of years in the minors with not so good control. You just don't have that feel for him being able to come right out of the chute and perform well. Now, to your point about the Dodgers hanging on to them, they have a firm belief in him. They do say he's taken Noah Syndergaard's spot here in the rotation. So if he does perform well, 13 million went to Syndergaard, but I'm not so sure Syndergaard will see the mound for a while if this kid does perform. I just think it's a tough lineup to break in against here. And we're going to find out if he has any control issues today, first 5 against this team, he's probably going to get himself in trouble.
Good stuff, Robbie. And we got Pick Schmitz in here saying, do we trust Schmidt today for the Yankees? Actually, for best bets, we're circling back to that one. So thanks for the question here. We'll get Rob Vino on that. I do have a question for you, Brian. You brought up weather in MLB and bringing up the fact that it's cold. You kind of alluded to that being unders. Is there anything else you look for in weather in terms of betting baseball overall? Any little angles you could throw out there for the watchers?
No, you want to know where the wind's blowing. And in that one, it's coming not directly into home plate, but it's coming in about 10 miles an hour. You got to look at the way the wind's blowing. Rob made a great point that I had completely forgot about, and that's left-handers in their early time in Major League Baseball. For some reason, because I think it's because batters don't see as many lefties as they do righties. Probably about 25% to 75% for the most part. You can find these lefties come out and they do very well. And if they are doing well, just ride them. It's been something. I'm not a big guy on hot streaks and streaks of that nature, but if you've got a guy that comes out, he's a lefty, he's fooling people, and people haven't seen him yet. You can ride a guy 3 or 4 starts and make some good money doing that.
Brian Leonard, WagerTalk.com, guys. He's got that 4% NHL play up. Brian, I guess last question for you, man. Just real quick here. My Florida Panthers, do they got a shot to win the Stanley Cup?
Anybody's got a shot this year. It's amazing to me. I'm a Golden Knights fan, and I'm loving all the best teams getting knocked off. Boston loses, first round. Colorado loses for all the teams that everybody's afraid of. Well, can't wait to see them in the playoffs. They're going to turn around. Well, they haven't. And I talked about this many times on the hockey show earlier. Your home ice advantage is not nearly as strong in the playoffs as it is during the regular season. These are all teams that have been able to win on the road. Road teams making a killing in the playoffs so far. If you like dogs, you like road teams, you've got a lot of money in your pocket from this hockey season here in the playoffs.
Like it, Brian. Guys, we got best bets coming up. Smash that like button if you're liking the content. And again, feel free to reply below in the reply section with any questions. Also, let us know what you're looking to bet. I'll start us off here with best bet section. I'm jumping on the Toronto Blue Jays. Can get them as low as minus 132. I listed Manoah as a starting pitcher for the Jays. Of course, if he gets scratched for whatever reason, that would make it a no play. But I just like to put kind of, if I'm betting on a team, I like to put that pitcher as the listed pitcher. Unless it's a pitcher, I'm betting on the team for kind of a different reason with a better bullpen, something of that. I'll bet at action. But I just wanted to throw that out there. The reason I'm betting this game, full season metrics, guys, we're getting to the point in the season where I would really kind of push you towards looking at each of the game logs from the pitchers, because these two pitchers, Pivetta going for the Red Sox and Manoah going for the Blue Jays, actually have similar full season numbers to this point. They're just heading in opposite directions right now. Manoah started off kind of not that great, and now he's pitching a lot better. His last two starts, 12 innings, only 2 earned runs, whereas Pivetta, he started off hot. His last couple games, he's let up 13 runs in his last 14 innings pitched in 3 starts. So he's kind of been knocked around of late. Now he's going up against this Jays lineup that has, for whatever reason, done very, very well in Fenway Park. They see the ball well here. I'm looking to bet on them. I actually lost on them earlier in this series by 1 run. Each of the first 2 games, the Red Sox have nipped them by 1 run. I don't think that happens again. I'll lay the 32 cents here on the Toronto Blue Jays, better bullpen as well. So that's my best bet for the show. I'll throw it over here to Jimmy Adams. Guys, check him out, WagerTalk.com. Over 70% MLB, his last 27 plays, and he's got a 5%. That's the highest rated play you can have. Check it out, WagerTalk.com. Going tonight. Jimmy, any final thoughts here for the show, and what do you got for best bets?
Yeah, like you mentioned, Drew, we're on a hell of a run. Had a great first month of the baseball season. And historically, May, June, July, these have all been very, very profitable months for me, going back years now. So jump on board with a single game package tonight. 5% are going 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, whatever suits your needs. And grab Drew's as well, because he's got a 5% ready to cash. But let's get into today's best bet, and that's going to be on the Baltimore Orioles. Look, if the odds makers want to keep hanging numbers around minus 150, I'm just going to have to keep betting it. Lock this in at minus 147. It's gotten steamed up again. We did the same thing yesterday, cashed it with relative ease. The O's are now 5-1 in their last 6 games while putting up 39 runs over that span. Kyle Gibson goes today. He's got a 50% ground ball rate because he does a fairly good job with his sinker sweeper combo. His analytics, they're mostly average. This isn't an elite pitcher by any means, but we have to take into account that he's facing one of the bottom 2 lineups in all of baseball. Kansas City and Detroit keep battling it out for the honor of worst offense in the majors. But certainly a terrible lineup nonetheless, even though they did score some runs yesterday. And it's also worth noting that Baltimore has one of the best bullpens in baseball with a collective ERA of 3.03 after giving up a few runs yesterday. They came into yesterday's game, Drew, with the best bullpen in baseball if you're going by collective ERA. However, did give up some runs there, and it dropped them quite a few spots. There's some teams that are kind of log jammed in that top 10 range as far as bullpens are concerned. Then you got the Royals. Look, it's just been an abysmal season. I was at a game there live earlier this year. Very little crowd support. They've lost 5 of 6, and Zach Greinke is a pitcher I want absolutely no part of at this point in his career. Almost all of Greinke's advanced metrics are terrible, except for the fact that he doesn't walk many batters. However, he doesn't strike out many either, and pitching to contact is going to be a disaster against an Orioles team that, with the way they're hitting. He gave up 7 earned last time out, 4 earned in each of the past 2 starts prior. He's gotten progressively worse in each start this season. Gives up way too many barrels, low velocity, low whiff percentage, on and on and on. Give me the Orioles all day. And again, that's today's best bet.
Jimmy Adams, great breakdown there. Jimmy, did you? You might have realized this. The Royals are 1-13 at home this season. Did you see that?
Oh, it's so bad. It's
Oh
horrific.
man, crazy man.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no home field advantage whatsoever. If you and I don't really factor that into account that much anyway in the regular season when it comes to baseball. But winning a game at Busch Stadium, just in the same state, is a heck of a lot harder than winning at Kauffman, where the fans are not happy. Luckily, it's not a rabid fan base or a wild fan base like Philly or New York, but no crowd support nonetheless, and it just doesn't do them any favors whatsoever.
Jimmy Adams, guys, 5% play up and available, hitting over 70% in his MLB the last 27 plays. So going to want to check that out. WagerTalk.com, 5% play going tonight. We got Bryan Leonard. Guys, he's the #1 NHL net profit handicapper at WagerTalk.com the past 5+ seasons. So you're getting a long-term track record of profits there. MLB 15-9. So going to want to listen to what he has to say on the diamond, on the ice here. He's got a 4% NHL power play up and available, and a 6-pack of MLB that actually just went off. But Bryan, any final thoughts for the show, and what do you got for best bets?
Well, first of all, you're the host and you can't brag about yourself, but I will for you. You're having a hell of a baseball season. I watch your plays. I agree with a lot of your plays, so we think very much the same. And Jimmy talked about the Pirates earlier in that game. I played the Pirates over 1.5 in the first 5. So as of what we've given out so far on this show, I can't disagree with anybody's plays. So hopefully we'll have a big day here. I'm always looking for value when I'm betting baseball, hockey, the money line sports. And I think that's how you win, is looking for value. And it's a rarity today. I think I have value on Shohei Ohtani. You take a look at the pitching matchup with Miles Mikolas. Mikolas is one of those guys that gives you a lot of innings. He's not a big strikeout pitcher, but he's more of the Corey Kluber type of pitcher nowadays that just tries to get you to the bullpen. But he hasn't gotten off to a very good start this year. His ERA 5.97. Ohtani's 1.85. You take a look at all the numbers from a starting pitcher standpoint, it's all Ohtani. And yet the line's been bet down a little bit here. I can find a 127, minus 127 at the South Point here in Las Vegas. And a lot of that has to do with, if you were to look at this before the season started, LA and St. Louis, you'd probably figure that it would be a pick'em range. But this St. Louis team, they just have not hit the players that are normally very good for the Cardinals have not played well this year. The third baseman is one of the best third basemen in baseball. He's not hitting, and he's really struggling. So I get a team in the Angels who I really love this lineup. They got a lot of power in this lineup. You go 2 to 7 in this lineup, and you got guys that can hit the ball out of the park. So that's one of the reasons why I like the Angels season wins over as a rarity this year, because usually I'm betting them under. But just looking at the splits on the season, Ohtani 1.29 ERA on the road. He has yet to give up a home run on the road this season. Mikolas at home 7.20 ERA. His xFIP's better, much better than that. But I want no part of St. Louis here. They're not hitting, and the Angels are a team that are playing very well right now. Just looking at the numbers from Ohtani, the only thing he doesn't do well and he's struggling with this year is walks. His walk percentage is 13.0%, which is bad. It's bad for anybody, but it's extremely bad for him. But when you take a look at his strikeout percentage, it's 35.1. So even though he's walking a ton of batters, he's still striking out a ton. So with a K to minus walk ratio of 22.1, you can't go wrong with that. As opposed to, Mikolas, he doesn't walk a lot of batters, but he doesn't strike them out. His strikeout and walk ratio is 13.3 strikeouts minus walk percentage. So I like Ohtani here, and just about everything I look at is all him. He's going to go far in this game. You're going to get at least 6 innings out of him, and 6 innings with a huge pitching advantage is what I'm looking for here, as opposed to paying the higher price for the first half. I'll take him for the full game. The Angels bullpen actually has been pretty good as of late, so we'll play the Angels as a decent sized road or decent value road favorite here against St. Louis.
Brian Leonard, B. Leonard Sports. Great breakdown as always. Guys, again, reminder, he's the #1 NHL profit leader the last 5 seasons. Got a 4% NHL power play up and available. Also seen it well on the diamond. We got the gold sheet best bet before we get to Robbie Vino. Heading back to the Kansas City Royals and Baltimore Orioles, but heading towards the total here. That's what the gold sheet's betting. Over 9 runs. Royals have the league's worst bullpen that threw 133 pitches in just over 5 innings on Tuesday. The Orioles' current roster is batting .340 in 54 plate appearances against Zach Greinke. We got a couple guys really hitting them well. A double and a home run for Ryan McCaskill. We got Austin Hayes there, 4 for 9, and Cedric Mullins is 4 for 8 with a double. So that's the gold sheet play of the day. Going to where the Royals are just 1-13 at home, but betting the over for good reason, particularly in the later innings, hitting on that Royals bullpen. We'll throw it over to Robbie Vino for the last best bet for the show. Robbie, I'm seeing something here in the chat from C. James. Have you ever had this nickname called to you? Rob, hold my Cabernet Vino?
No.
Thought that was a good one.
I'll accept it. I mean, I've never been called that, but I'll accept it. C. James, I have no problem with that. Hold my Cabernet. I'm not really a wine drinker, though, so that's the surprise of it. I think I would have to hold the Cabernet for my wife. She likes that a little bit more than I do.
I got it, Robbie. Yeah, I thought that was great, C. James. The comment here in the live chat of the day. But, guys, just a reminder here, teeing up Robbie for his best bet. #1 handicapper in terms of just, hey, hot right now. Last 3 days, he's 9-4 for 1,600 profit. Man, 69%, Robbie. So you're obviously doing something right. Any final thoughts here for the show, and what do you got for best bets?
Yeah, we try to do things right around here, Drew. It happens sometimes. The best bet is going to be Cleveland Guardians against the New York Yankees here tonight. I'm going to, and I should verify this or make this more clear to the viewers. Drew, the first game when I presented a first 5 play, that first 5 play was on the money line because I saw somebody in the chat that you flashed up say Nola is 2-3 first 5. Just want to make sure that we're not laying the half run in that game. We're going to play money line -110 with Aaron Nola, and good shoppers can find -105 out there before that game throws the first pitch at 4:10 East, 1:10 Pacific. Here, however, we'll play first 5, but we will lay the half a run, expecting Cleveland to be up at the end of 5 innings here. You're presented with a couple of good fade choices here, and they both point to the same team, right? You could fade Clark Schmidt against the Guardians offense, or you could fade the Yankees offense against Shane Bieber, and I prefer to do both. It's going to land me on the Guardians' first 5 innings here. Clark Schmidt, he's been miserable. Let's state it the way it is. 6 starts, only twice has he thrown more than 4 innings. But more importantly than the length of his starts, guys, 25 innings pitched, 35 hits allowed. 19 of those 35 have been doubles or home runs. And when you're giving up that many extra base hits, that just gives the opposite team an opportunity to score each and every inning when you're giving up big hits like that, doubles and home runs. He's a strikeout guy, and he doesn't walk a lot. The problem with being a strikeout guy against Cleveland is that Cleveland is the 27th toughest team in Major League Baseball to strike out this season, only striking out at a 19.6% rate. In the Guardians' first time around, they've actually seen this guy once, only struck out 3 times. So I don't know. They kind of negate one of Clark Schmidt's, maybe his only strength in this particular ball game. If we get to deeper analytics, I think we all look at that little 13 category box that Baseball Savant gives us every day with these pitchers. And when you look at that, boy, you find out that Clark Schmidt, he's in the bottom 14 percentile in 6 of those 13 categories, and worse in some. If you look at exit velocity, he's in the bottom 4 percentile. If you look at hard hit and barrel, he's in the bottom 3 percentile. And Cleveland's not, the Gas House Gorillas playing Bugs Bunny, but they got a couple of guys that can hit the ball a little bit. So I think Clark Schmidt could be at risk here much more in the first 5 innings than would be Shane Bieber. Let's go back to that game 3 weeks ago real quick here and just note that Cleveland led that game after 5 innings, 3-2. We're looking for him to win by 1 run here again tonight or more. And Clark Schmidt is 0-4-2 this season in first 5 inning bets against the run line. So we have a guy who hasn't won a game first 5 yet. So we'll play against that. And then we'll play on Shane Bieber against the Yankee offense. Now, the Yankee offense without Aaron Judge, the last 5 games, averaging 2 runs per game. Not good. And they've only gone 1-4 in the first 5 innings of those 5 games without Aaron Judge. Bieber did pitch against the Yankees earlier this year, April 10th, 7 strong innings, only gave up 2 earned runs, 8 total base runners, and they were totally healthy at that point. Judge and Stanton were part of that lineup that Bieber that Bieber pitched very well against. So I think he can do the same here, a repeat performance against a little bit weaker lineup. He's had much stronger road splits this year. 4 of his 6 starts have been away from home, 2.88 ERA, 108 whip, 277 on base percentage, very good there. 101 batters faced on the road by Shane Bieber, only 1 home run against him. So again, a team like the Yankees that likes to hit the long ball may be negated here by Shane Bieber. I think, when you look at this game, the perfect elixir for a weak Cleveland offense probably is an even weaker starting pitcher. Don't want to mess with bullpens again. So I'm going to play first 5 here. I think the price is good. Lay a half a run. Take back plus $1 with Shane Bieber over the Yankees.
Rob, hold my Cabernet Vino. Seeing it well. Number 1 last 3 days, WagerTalk.com. And you just heard it from him. Cleveland, first 5, minus that half a run, plus the 110. I'm on the Blue Jays, minus 132 for my best bet. Brian Leonard, Angels, minus 127. Jimmy Adams, he's like the O's, minus 155. Been bought up there. And the gold sheet, Baltimore, Kansas City, over 9, minus 115. Check out Brian Leonard, Jimmy Adams, Robbie Vino. I am Drew Martin, all at WagerTalk.com. Guys, if you're liking the content, please smash that like button. Feel free to reply below. Huge shout out to the chat box. As always, stay tuned for the NBA playoff show. We got NHL playoff show as well tomorrow. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Cash those tickets. We'll talk tomorrow.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.